At some point in history, the entire human population dropped so low that we were basically one bad season away from disappearing forever. Not hundreds of thousands of people, not even tens of thousands. We're talking somewhere around 1,000, maybe less. Every single person alive today, every human being on this entire planet, descended from that tiny group. A group so small you could fit them all inside a single apartment complex. And the scary part, we almost didn't make it. To understand what happened, you have to go back about 900,000 years. Modern humans didn't exist yet, but our ancestors did. These were early Homo sapiens, upright, social, tool-using. Not quite us, but close enough. They had been spreading slowly across Africa for hundreds of thousands of years. Different groups, different regions. And then, something went very wrong. The population didn't just shrink, it collapsed. Scientists estimate it dropped to somewhere between 1,000 and 1,300 breeding individuals. That's it. The entire future of humanity, balanced on the edge of nothing. But there was a problem. Nobody knew this happened. For a long time, there was zero evidence of it in the fossil record. No mass burial sites. No ancient disaster layer in the ground. Nothing. So, how did we even find out? The answer is hidden inside your DNA. See, every time a population shrinks dramatically, it leaves a fingerprint in the genetics of the survivors. Scientists call it a genetic bottleneck, and when researchers started mapping ancient human DNA, they found something strange. The genetic diversity in modern humans is surprisingly low, like embarrassingly low, compared to chimpanzees, compared to gorillas, compared to almost every other large mammal on Earth. Human beings are genetically almost identical to each other. And that's where things get strange. If humans had been a large, spread-out population for hundreds of thousands of years, we should be way more genetically diverse. But we're not. Which means, at some point, the gene pool got squeezed down to almost nothing. The evidence didn't fit what scientists expected. And that gap, between what the fossils showed and what the DNA was saying, pointed to something massive. Something that nearly wiped us out entirely. So what actually caused it? The answer seemed obvious. A volcano, a drought, some natural catastrophe that killed most of the population at once. It wasn't. The leading theory today points to something much slower and in some ways scarier. A climate shift. Starting around 900,000 years ago, Earth entered a period of intense glacial cycles. The planet kept swinging between freezing cold and burning dry. Ice ages that lasted longer. Droughts that never seemed to end. Africa, where most of our ancestors lived, became brutal. Forests shrank. Rivers dried up. The animals our ancestors hunted disappeared. Food became unpredictable. Seasons stopped making sense. And early humans, who had never faced anything like this before, started dying. Not all at once. Slowly, group by group, region by region. Over thousands of years, the population bled out. But then scientists discovered something unexpected. Some of them survived. A small pocket, possibly along the African coast, where the ocean kept temperatures slightly more stable, slightly more livable. And from that tiny pocket of maybe 1,000 people, all of us came. Think about what that actually means. Every language that has ever been spoken, every civilization ever built, every song, every war, every invention, every discovery in all of human history, it all traces back to that one desperate, freezing, starving little group of people who somehow didn't give up. They didn't know they were saving humanity. They were just trying to eat, just trying to stay warm, just trying to make it to the next day. But this created a new mystery. If our population crashed that hard, that means there were other groups of early humans out there, relatives of ours, who didn't survive. Branches of the human family tree that just ended, quietly, without a trace. We don't know who they were. We don't know what languages they spoke or what they believed or what they looked like. They're just gone. And we, the ones who made it, carry almost none of their memory. The next time you feel like the odds are against you, just remember, your ancestors survived the actual end of the world, with 1,000 people and no plan. If they made it through that, whatever you're dealing with is probably manageable.